How's it going, everyone? Data here, and welcome back to San Jose Sharks Franchise Mode, episode number 5, headed into part 1 of the 2023-24 regular season, year number 2. Now, in the last episode, we had a huge trade with the Washington Capitals, a team that wanted to trade the second overall pick. We made a big deal, 2 firsts and Timo Meier, essentially, in exchange for the pick that became Connor Bedard. In the offseason, we also made some smart picks, some smart free agent signings, I believe, as we picked up Jonathan Drouin, giving him a change of scenery from Montreal, a 5-year deal paying him $4.4 per season. We also went out and signed veteran Jordan Staal, who just won a Stanley Cup as captain of the Hurricanes last season. 1 year, $4 million for him. Re-signing a lot of players like Svechnikov and Zucker. We got Cody Glass on a 1-year reclamation project kind of deal. Defense, we got some depth, veteran depth in Alex Edler. We're calling up Ryan Merkley. And aside from that, we also saw in the healthy scratches, we had a deal with the Canadiens. They gave him to us basically for nothing. Swap fifths, and here's Evgeny Dadonov. We said, why not? And we signed him to a 1-year contract, paying him $2.5 million as an 84 overall. Listed as a second-line forward, so I thought that was a bit of a, I thought it was a pretty smart offseason, I do have to say. But it has created a logjam. Not all of these players can play. And I definitely don't want to be seeing Lindblom, Svechnikov as fourth liner, stuff like that. So we have an interesting preseason ahead, followed by what will be the first half of 2023-24. And we'll kind of get to see what is our team going to be, what's it going to look like, and also what is the identity of the team going to be. So lots of questions for us after last episode heading into this one, mostly concerning the lineup. Do we make any potential trades for players who are currently on the block? And that is where the assistant general managers come into play. Starting off in the comments with a comment from Joey, who left some thoughts concerning Connor Bedard. We were saying he's part of the logjam. Do we send him back to juniors for a year, or would that be too unrealistic? Well, Joey says that, some say it wouldn't be realistic, but I send 81 overall junior guys back to the WHL or OHL in his franchise modes. I did that to Bedard because I didn't have a good coach for line chemistry, but now he's 20 and 87 and has 3 years on his entry-level deal. You should send Bedard down since playoffs are not a guarantee right now. And he got some likes and some replies on that comment, and I can definitely see where he's coming from. Organizationally, it would make the most sense for us to send down Bedard, get an extra year of the ELC at a high contract, a good value contract. It'll coincide with when Mishkov comes to the NHL, who was drafted first overall by our Pacific Division rivals, the LA Kings. So the storyline is there. However, would it really make sense to send not only the second overall pick, but a guy who was 79 overall, who was taking second overall pick, down to the minors on a team that isn't very good right now? It's hard to say, but those are Joey's thoughts. Some other thoughts coming in from Mike, who says, great video, brother. Anything after Bedard in the draft doesn't even matter. It wasn't the great rest of the draft, I do have to say. We have our difference maker to pair with William Eklund. We're on the right track. I really like the free agent moves you made. Getting Staal instead of Pavelski made much more sense, especially since we're rebuilding, as cool as the storyline would have been. Trading Dadonov makes a ton of sense. We have a logjam for sure. I'd suggest trading for a right-handed defenseman, maybe Dante Fabro, who's on the block right now. Wallander is also an awesome prospect from the wings with great size, and I believe he plays both sides. I agree with the X factors you gave. I like the depth much more, a lot of center depth, and we just got to focus on defense and wings going forward. Great video, and I look forward to the next one. Go Sharks. Thank you kindly, Mike. Cheating Heels comment says we got the future star we were looking for. Great job, GM Data. Now the rebuild can start on solid ground. I would target Coronado and or Leo Carlson, 2 other prospects on the block right now. I say we trade either Lindblom and or Cunnin plus picks or prospects we don't intend to keep for them. They'll ask for too much next year to play in our bottom 6, meaning Lindblom and Cunnin. Teams probably wouldn't give these prospects up in real life for an aging and regressing Evgeny Dadonov, so I'd keep him until the trade deadline and send him on his way for a pick or 2. Trading Lindblom would also mean getting Svechnikov on the 3rd line and Noah Gregor on the 4th. Gregor has scored some big goals for us last season when we needed them. I feel bad leaving him on the bench. Svechnikov was also decent when we bumped him up after trading Barabanov, and I think he jumped from 78 to an 81. Yes, he did. Dumping him on the 4th line would send mixed messages. We should find a way to get him in the top 9 by trading someone who's most likely gone anyway next year. Some very fair lineup thoughts, I do have to say. Other thoughts, talking about Ryan Merkley, our lower league prospect we're trying to get some growth out of. Cheating Heel says that he would give him 10 games. If he performs, he stays, and we trade one of our 79 overall guys in the AHL so our kids can get more ice time. If Merkley doesn't cut it, send him down and bring up one of those 79s. We have Shemek, we have Matt Benning, so that Merkley plays top pair AHL. Also, there's a spot in the top 9 in the AHL for Philip Bystedt. I say we sign him right away. Unfortunately, there isn't really, so I'm going to wait one more year on Bystedt. Other than that, I'd say we're ready to go. Let's see how things go, but signing a lot of 1 or 2 year contracts was the right way to go for now. Lots of trade chips if our season goes sideways. Thank you very much, Cheating Heel. And, it would be really tough. I do have to admit, it would be really tough to trade Oscar Lindblom. He's a fan favorite. He was amazing in Philly. He was one of our alternate captains. He was a bottom 6 pillar, a staple. But the thing is, I don't want to treat Oscar Lindblom the same way that we treated him in Philadelphia. I'd almost just rather trade him than have to make him live out his days on a third, fourth line role. 37 points in 76 games last year, playing 17 minutes a night. Meanwhile, Svechnikov scored 32 in 82, playing 15 minutes a night, and he has maybe not the better potential, but he's already shown a lot of good growth. He's signed for 2 years at 1.9 as opposed to Lindblom, who's on an expiring deal. Trading Lindblom would allow Svechnikov to bump up. It brings Gregor into the lineup. I don't think I want to trade Luke Kunin just yet. I know he's also on an expiring deal, but I like his potential more, and he's younger, and he had a huge role last season. 38 points on the year, yeah, but 17 points in 18 games in the postseason. So I'd like to keep Luke Kunin, but I could see Lindblom being moved. I think it'll mostly depend on the preseason. If anyone really stands out or struggles, like if Bedard really doesn't do anything in the top 6 and we do send him down because it makes sense realistically, well then we'll keep Oscar Lindblom. But I will admit that even though it's before the preseason, I'm on the edge of trading him, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the way that we go to open up the lineup. Moving on to Tic Tac's comment, fun little beginning here, new chant for the Shark Tank. But unless it's a catastrophic preseason for Bedard, we likely keep him because of his franchise potential. Tic Tac says that Bedard is way too good to go back to junior because you can't play in the AHL. You have to be sent back to the juniors. So keep him in the NHL. Franchise potential means he's going to grow quickly, but we can kickstart that growth by playing him in the top 6 right away. Big minutes and big responsibility will help him acclimatize to the NHL nice and quick. And his overall will jump so fast that he's going to be a first-line player even before the end of his first season. Let's allow the kid to shine so that we can show LA who the real king of the 2023 draft really is. Thank you, Tic Tac. Now, Tommy also leaves a comment about Bedard, saying that he should get a good opportunity in the preseason, top 6 time, finisher on the power play. That's exactly what I did already off screen. And if he doesn't impress, then you can send him back to junior for a year. So we'll see how he does. Plus, this would most likely line up with his rookie season with Mishkov. That would be a great storyline, of course. Also, if the team is doing well but Merkley doesn't impress, consider trading him for Bouchard or Fabro. Both are RFAs, and Merkley on an ELC would be valuable to their respective teams. Very good point. Given Merkley's current age/potential, he likely doesn't surpass either of them, so I suggest maximizing his value while he still has it. Great thoughts there, Tommy. Thank you for leaving them. So all that being said, we can't do much until we see how this team does in the preseason. I've sent out the scouts. I've fixed up the lines. I'm going to give it a couple games with the lines looking like this. Then I'll start rotating things around. We'll see how Dadonov does when he's playing, how Kunin does in a top 6 role instead of a third line role, all kinds of stuff like that. So I'll take care of that off screen, but what I will do is just show you the results of each game one by one until we get to the end of the preseason. I'll show you the lines of the game, then I'll show you the actual results of the game. So since I'm already here, I'll show you this quick one first. First period, down 2-1, goal from Jonathan Drouin. Second period, 3-3, Kunin and Hurdle. And third period, we end 5-4 victory. Look at that. First goals from Stahl, Svechnikov power play game winner. That's really cool to see there. From even though it's a preseason goal, still good to see them hopping in on the action. So then I would go to the box score, and I would say, all right, here's how we're looking. In that game, we saw pluses from Kunin, Drouin, -3, yikes, from Zucker. And Svechnikov, Couture, negative players. Connor Bedard gets a point and is a -1. All right, keep all that in mind. And Kakko Kakkonen made 19 saves on 23 shots. All right, game 2 of the preseason, swapping Kunin and Zucker, swapping Sveshnikov and Lindblom. Grigor is in for Sturm. De Kaiser, Danny DK Donkey Kong De Kaiser is in for Alex Edler. And I'll once again give a start to Capo Kakinen. 3-1 win against the Vegas Golden Knights with that lineup. A goal and an assist from both Drouin and Hertl. Very nice. The top line looking good. Ferraro, Stahl, Eklund all with assists. Jason Zucker with the goal on that third line. I like that. No negative players, very good, and 17 saves on 18 shots for Capo Kakinen. Game 3 of the preseason, Hertl will come out, Dadonov will come in, playing second line left wing. Defense stays the same, and Ryan Merkley's going to get some power play time. Between the pipes, we're going to give a start to David Rittich. I think that'll be the end of Kakinen. We already know that he's our starter. I'd like to see some starts from Rittich, as well as maybe even a little bit of Eetu Mäkiniemi. Alrighty, how about an 8-4 victory against the Kings, including a first period hat trick from Luke Kunin, added another one, 4-goal night from him, 3 assists from Evgeny Dadonov in his first game with the Sharks, goal and 2 assists from Knizhov, so crazy game here from the Sharks. We also see 3-point nights from Carlson, a +6 on the night with 27:50 of ice time. Eklund, a couple of assists. Drouin's been great. Bedard, 2 points and a +4. So that was a wild night. Lindblom, Grigor getting in there. 2 assists from Cody Glass. Love to see it. Still negative from Logan Couture, though, so that's pretty odd. Looking at the goalies, Rittich made 11 saves on 15 shots, allowing 4 goals, gets pulled, and Kakinen makes 16 saves on 16 shots. So tough night from Rittich as he gets pulled after allowing 4 on 15. No major line changes after a win like that, but I will swap Hertl with Couture. Couture, the one negative player, the first line centerman in an 8-4 victory, a -1. No defensive changes, but goaltending we will see Eetu Mäkiniemi between the pipes with Rittich backing him up. 2-1 victory for the Sharks over the Seattle Kraken. Game-winning goal to Jason Zucker. 2 assists from Evgeny Sveshnikov. Great to see that. Plus minuses in this one. Even 0 for everybody across the board. Goaltending, it was 29 saves on 30 shots from Mäkiniemi. Very impressive, and he'll get the next start. All right, next game of the preseason, we're going to swap Lindblom and Sveshnikov. Lindblom's been really good, so if he can keep it up, he might play his way into a role. I don't know, 4 points in 4 games for him so far. Defense will bring Edler back in for De Kaiser. In the one game he played, he took 3 minor penalties, so that's why he stayed in the press box for a little bit. Goaltending, we're going to go back to Mäkiniemi, backed up by Rittich. Big 6-3 win for the Sharks. We are scoring left and right. So 3-point night from Erik Karlsson, 2 goals and an assist, 2 assists from Stahl, 2 assists from Drouin, Dadonov a goal and an assist, but including an empty netter. Also goals from Hertl, Lindblom scoring another goal, but Sveshnikov another assist. Only 4 minutes of ice time, so that must have been, he must have left for some sort of injury reason. Plus minuses, no one a negative player, and Mäkiniemi once again, 30 saves on 33 shots. Next game of the preseason, we're going to get Couture back in for Tomas Hertl. Let's see if he can wake up a little bit, because I don't know, maybe he's becoming a trade candidate. I don't want to put too much stock into the preseason, but I got to see something from the guy. David Rittich will get the start after that tough game he got pulled in last time he started. Hopefully better things for him. And it definitely was better. A 2-1 victory for the Sharks here against the Canucks. We had goals from Knizhov and Alex Edler. There he is. Single-point games from all those guys. Any negative players? We see Sveshnikov, Grigor, and Glass, all negatives on the 4th line. Oh, man. Like, I'm going to try swapping Sveshnikov and Lindblom again to give him more top-9 opportunity, but it's a tough decision right there. And Rittich made 24 saves on 25 shots. Last game of the preseason, we're going to try Hertl back in the lineup, Bedard, Couture, Zucker on the second line. Dadonov will draw in for Luke Kunin, who we've seen enough from. He's a monster. 5 goals, 7 points in 5 games. Svesh and Lindblom will swap spots. Defense stays the same. And goaltending, we'll give one last start to David Rittich, who's trying to fight Mäkiniemi for the backup role right now. Mäkiniemi had 2 really strong games, so I need to see another strong performance from Rittich, or this backup battle may carry over into the regular season. In the last game of the preseason, we end with a 5-2 loss. Almost undefeated. Almost. In this game, we saw single-point performances, from Hertl, Couture, Bedard, and Drouin. Negatives from Glass, Edler, Ferraro, Lindblom. Yikes. Really tough negatives in this one after we had really not a lot of negatives throughout the entire postseason. Flames really got us in this one, unfortunately. And David Rittich, 4 goals on 33 shots. Mäkiniemi has the edge headed into the season, I do have to say. So I'm going to keep Mäkiniemi in the NHL. It'll be Lindbergh starting in the AHL, and we'll see what happens from there. But with all of this understood, we can look at the bigger picture, looking at the player stats. 6-1-0 was our record. 10 points from the newly signed Jonathan Drouin. Good to see him hopefully finding his ground with a new team here, moving out west and coming to California. Carlson at 9 points was a plus 13 in 7 games. Cunnin 7 and 6, not 7 and 5, excuse me. Hurdle point per game plus 6 in 5. Lindblom and Knyzhov and Dadonov and Bedard and Eklund all with 5 points. Dadonov getting 5 in 5. We see Jordan Stahl, Sveshnikov both with 4. Zucker didn't do much. 2 goals, 3 points in 7 games. Glass 3 points. Grigor 2 and 6. Frau Edler a goal and a -4 in 4 games. Logan Couture 1 goal, -2 in 5 games. That's what's scaring me. Merkley 1 assist and a -1. He was getting quite a bit of ice time. Hopefully he can stick. I don't know. Sturm didn't play much. Neither did DeKaiser and Mark-Edward Vlasic. 7 games, nothing across the scoreboard. Riddick ends 2-1-0, 876 save percentage. Mäkiniemi in 2 games, facing whatever, like 10 less shots, has a 936 save percentage. Played 27 less minutes and allowed 5 less goals. So I think Mäkiniemi can start the season as the backup, but I'm not really sold on any trades headed into the season. I think we're going to have to go into the regular season. I think Connor Bedard played himself into a role. I think Dadonov and Lindblom have been good enough as well. So I'm going to pause here to do a bit more of roster playing around. But I don't think our questions have been solved just yet. They'll have to be solved in the regular season. Alright, so let's get this season started, ladies and gentlemen. Still questions to be answered, but we're going to start the season like this. Eklund, Hurdle, and Drouin playing on the first line. He played his way to that role. Jonathan Drouin, 10 points in 7 games. I hope that he can continue doing very well. Cunnin, Couture, and Bedard on the second line. Logan Couture is starting to scare me a little bit, but I hope that the captain can turn it around in the regular season. Third line, Oscar Lindblom played too well to get moved right now. 5 points in 7 games with only 11.5 minutes of ice time. He's going to get power play and third line, and we'll see where it goes from here. Playing with Jordan Stahl and Jason Zucker. Fourth line, I know this is not the long-term fourth line. Dadonov can't be a fourth liner, at least not for long, but he's getting 4-man power play. He's getting overtime. He's getting some other stuff to supplement. He had 5 points in 5 games. I want to see a bit more from him with Cody Glass and Evgeny Sveshnikov, who's also okay. Sveshnikov wasn't as good, only 1 goal in 7 games, but he's also going to be getting power play time. It's going to get supplemented. These guys have enough ice time. Every forward has enough ice time to show me what they can do. Now, whoever starts to fall back, whoever starts to move ahead, that's when we'll figure out what kind of trades will be made. Defense, we're going to keep this the same as it's always been. Knyzhov, Carlson, Edler, Ferraro, Vlasic, and Merkley. Merkley, 1 assist, -1 in 7 games, not overly impressive, but I'm going to give him his ice time. Hopefully he takes it, runs with it. But, Danny DeKaiser is waiting to just take those minutes as well. Goaltending, we're going to start the year with Kakkonen, of course, as the starter, but Mäkiniemi backing him up, the prospect who came our way in the Brent Burns trade with the Carolina Hurricanes, 4th-round pick back in 2017. He was the starter in the AHL last season, went 23-17-4, had solid numbers, 4 shutouts, and he looked good in the preseason. Scratches will be DeKaiser, Riddick, and Grigor to start things off, and we'll go from there. So I'm excited for this team. I'm not sure what our identity is going to be. We went 6-1 in the preseason. I'm excited. The scouts are sent out. Everything's taken care of. Let's get year number 2 started at the Shark Tank in San Jose against the LA Kings, one of our rivals. The team that passed on Connor Bedard has to face him in game number 1. Bedard making his NHL debut here with the Sharks at home. It's a perfect story, and let's see what happens. Hoping for a big win, and some of those players who are in their first NHL game as Sharks, such as Drouin and Dadonov and Edler, to also contribute. Here we go. First period of year number 2. It's 2-1 Sharks. Lindblom opens it up on the power play, saying, "Thank you for keeping me. I'm going to prove you right." I really hope so, Mr. Lindblom. The captain, Logan Couture, scores his first goal of the season or preseason to put us at 2-0. Thank you very much. And Jonathan Toews, new signing for the Kings, makes it a 1-goal game, but shot 17-7 after 20. Second period, 4-3 Sharks. Taves with his second ties it up, and Connor Bedard in his first NHL game scores his first NHL goal against the team that passed on him for first overall. How about that for many years to come? Arvidsson ties it back up, but then Jonathan Drouin scores his first as a Shark to make it a 4-3 game. Love it. Shots are 25-19 San Jose after 40, and we're up by 1 with goals from Bedard and most recently Jonathan Drouin. And make that Alex Edler's first as a Shark as well against one of his former teams, the LA Kings. Look at that. Power play Sharks killed off by the Kings. We're up by 2 halfway through the third, outshooting the Kings 35-24 with about 6 minutes to go. 2-goal lead. Our most recent 2 goals coming from our newest acquisitions. Quinton Byfield makes it a 1-goal game late. Final seconds, but we hang on for the victory. Shots end 36-29 in our favor, and we win 5-4 the final, with Alex Edler scoring the game winner, a very unlikely candidate. 2 goals from Taves, a goal and 2 assists from Byfield, but whatever. A goal and assist from Couture gets some third-star honors. Let's see the box score in this one. A lot of players chipping in with a lot of single-point games there. -3 from Ryan Merkley. Yikes. Gets his first NHL point, but a -3. -2s from Stahl and Vlasic. -1s from Lindblom and Drouin. All right, keep all that in mind. 25 saves on 29 shots for Kakkonen, and it is a Game 1 victory to start off this 2023-24 campaign. Keeping things moving now, let's go to the Nashville Predators. We're coming to visit Cody Glass facing his former team. We gave him another chance with a 1-year contract in free agency. Let's watch this last one. Why not? And then we'll go to the calendar simulation. Maybe get 15, 20 games done. But let's see one more at home after a great season opener. First period against the Predators, 1-0. William Eklund's first of the season in his sophomore year after likely finishing runner-up last year for the Calder. Second period, 4-1 Sharks. Granlund ties it up, but then Carlson makes it 2-1. Cody Glass against his old team makes it, that's his first as a Shark. And then Connor Bedard, 2 goals in 2 games to start his career. Speaking of Calder, 4-1 Sharks after 40. Third period, up by 3, make it a win by 4 as Cody Glass puts the icing on the cake to score 2 goals, his first 2 as a Shark, and his first 2 of the season against one of his former teams. 5-1 the final. First star honors go to Erik Karlsson with a goal and 2 assists. 28 saves for Kakkonen and 2 goals for Cody Glass. Love to see it. Great stuff from this team that just seems to be clicking right now. But let's get to the calendar simulation. All of these preseason games, the first 2 games of the regular season, that was all slow sim. Can we do as well when it comes to the calendar sim? Let's go maybe 2 or 3 weeks and see what we're looking like. Little 4-game road trip coming up here. No thank you, Columbus. Starting with the Blues, who we beat 4-1. Then we see Minnesota and Winnipeg twice. The Wild are 0-4-1. We beat them 3-2 to make them 0-4-2. Our first loss of the year comes against Winnipeg on the road. But then a couple days later, we beat them in a shootout, 4-3. And now we're 5-1-0 after 6 games. Coyotes at home. We have a little homestand now. No thank you. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games at the Shark Tank in a row. 5-3 win against the Coyotes. The Senators, who are 3-6-0, we beat them 4-3. But then we get shut out for the first time this year, 3-0 against the Red Wings. 7-2-0 are the Sharks. Winnipeg Jets, we faced twice already this season. We're now 1-1-1 against them. 5-3 loss. And a 4-2 win against the Islanders. Let's keep going until game 15, let's say. That's 11, so 12, 13, 14. Let's go see after the game against the Hurricanes, against the Coyotes, and we'll continue with game 15 or 16, sorry, against the Hurricanes, Jordan Stahl's old team. And same for Makanyemi. 6-3 win against the Bruins on the road, but then we lose 2-1. Yikes. Separated shoulder for Luke Kunin till February 9th. That is a brutal injury. How had he been doing in that second line role? Luke Kunin, quick substitution. Highlight your injured player. Okay, thank you very much. I already knew that, but appreciate you telling me. Luke Kunin had 10 points in 14 games. What a monster. So now what's going to happen is, well, who's going to get bumped up? Either Lindblom, Zucker, Sveshnikov, or Dadonov. 4 assists from Zucker, no goals in the year yet. Lindblom, a goal and 5 assists. Svesh, a goal and 6 assists. And Dadonov, 4 goals, 4 assists. I'm liking Dadonov. Let's go Dadonov second line. Gives the line a +1 as well. And Noah Gregor will come in on the 4th line. I'll make the special teams changes and we'll keep on simulating. All right, all those lines are fixed. Just exiting out. A little calendar glitch. Please go back to normal. All right, there we go. So 4-3. Ooh, yikes. A little 3-game losing streak there. 2-1 loss, 4-0 loss, and 4-3 loss. After 15 games, we are 9-6-0 coming into this game against the Carolina Hurricanes. Let's check how things are looking as we are getting close to the 1/3 of the way there point. Through 15 games, we see 14 points for Tomas Hertl leading the way. 3 goals, 11 assists. Who's scoring the goals, though? 6 from Drouin, 6 from Eklund, and 6 from Jordan Staal. Very nice. Drouin, Eklund, both with 11 points, Staal with 10. Cunnin had 10 and 14, so it hurts to have him out for quite a little bit. Erik Karlsson, 9 points in 15 games. Dadonov, Couture, Bedard, all with 8 points. Same for Lindblom. Bedard hasn't scored a goal since those first 2 games of the season, so maybe the calendar sim is not his friend. Sveshnikov, 7 points for him. Glass with 6, very cool. For limited ice time as well, only playing 8:39 a night. Knyzhov 4, Zucker 4, Merkley 3 with a -1. Edler with a couple goals, Vlasic 2 points, Ferraro 2 points, Grigor -1 in that one game he played so far, replacing Cunnin. Goaltending, Kakinen 9-4-0. He's playing a lot of games. Mäkiniemi has only showed up twice, both losses, but good numbers. Both goalies have .905 save percentage and are allowing just over 2.5 goals apiece. So let's try and settle down a little bit. Let's try and get the first line going a bit more. Maybe a slow sim game is just what we need to jumpstart that production. Come on, there we go. Against the Hurricanes at home, who are 10-5-1. Jordan Staal's old team, who we won a Stanley Cup with last season, taking on the defending champions. Cody Glass opens it up, and James Reimer, former Shark goaltender, and Connor Bedard, who loves the slow sim, scores his 3rd goal of the year and 3 goals in 3 slow simmed games. Second period ends 2-0. Shots tied at 9. Sorry, that was first period. Second period now 3-0. William Eklund on the power play. We're being outshot 19-15, but we seem to be slow sim beasts. Power play San Jose killed off by the Hurricanes. 5 minutes through the period, still holding on to our 3-goal lead. Goals coming from and who was the first one from me? It was Bedard and Glass. Sorry, Bedard, Glass, and Eklund, the younger players chipping in. Veterans not so much, but we're going to hang on tight for a 3-0 victory against the Stanley Cup champions. 30 save shutout for, I would assume, Capo Kakinen. Yes, sir, 30 save shutout from him, first star honors. 3 assists from Erik Karlsson, assisting on each goal, and the game-winning goal going to Cody Glass. Love it. Big win there in the slow sim. Maybe just keep slow simming at this point. I don't know. I'm going to try another slow sim game. I'm going to see, is my theory correct? Taking on the Blue Jackets, who are 7-2-5. Not interested in trading DeKaiser for basically a 4th-round pick. All right, thank you. Now we're taking on the Blue Jackets, who are 7-3-5. First period, 3-0 Blue Jackets. Yikes. Second period, 5-1. Hertl scores our lone goal. Shorthanded goal for Cogliano on Mäkiniemi, who's in now for Kakinen, who got pulled. Or was Mäkiniemi in the whole time? No, yeah, Kakinen got pulled. Lovely. In a back-to-back. Nice. And we lose 6-1. All right, so forget the slow sim scheme, I suppose. We're going to go back to the calendar sim. But yeah, after 17 games, we're 10-7-0. What is our identity going to be? We'll know more by the halfway point, which we're getting closer to, which is where we're going to be pausing. But all things to keep in mind. Let's move into next month, into the month of December, and hopefully things will be a bit more clear by then. I don't know, we could look to trade the expiring deals for sure. Edler, actually Edler's not an expiring deal, but Dadonov, guys like that. I don't know, Cunnin, Lindblom. But there's a couple wins right there. 2-1 win against the Hawks, 4-2 win against the Bruins. The Lightning shut us out 4-0 in Tampa last time we played. This time we lose 3-2 in the shootout at home. Our first non-regulation loss of the year. Thank you. RFAs. Yeah, I know we're thinking about Dante Fabro and Evan Bouchard, but it doesn't look like those trades are making sense for us right now. I would love to get them if they remain unsigned, but I don't know if I want to. It seems like we're losing a good bit. I don't know if I want to get a good young piece to try and get us to win. Like, maybe that's something that we look at next offseason if they remain unsigned and we get them headed into year 3. Because there's a 4-1 loss, 4-0 loss, 7-2 loss, squeaky shootout win. We're now 13-10-1. Little Eastern Conference swing, Canadians. Let's see the Hurricanes again, actually. Let's pause after we see them again. Minnesota Wild are 8-14-1. At home, we beat them 5-4 in the shootout. Yikes, close games here. 4-2 loss against the Predators. Toronto Maple Leafs beat us 5-4 in the shootout. Canadiens in Montreal. Jonathan Drouin against his old team. We lose 5-2. Yeah, the losses. Oh boy, the losses are coming. Yikes. We had a really strong start, but now we're what? We're 2-6-2 in our last 10. We got to make some changes here. I don't know, is it the goaltending that hasn't been great? Both goalies now at sub 900 save percentages and allowing over 3 or more goals per game. Makanyemi not looking so hot either. The scoring, I don't know, the scoring's been kind of there. The negatives have not been good. The first line has had a tough plus-minus, so maybe just trying to move people around before we start to think, like, trades obviously are on the horizon, but before we do those, we want to try players in different spots. Bedard, by the way, already an 81 overall. So let's move some things around. Maybe Danny DK DeKaiser can help us out defensively, and we can really just cover all our bases and do our due diligence before we start to say who do we definitely got to trade and what is our direction for the second half of the year. All right, so we're on a bit of a losing streak headed into this game against the Hurricanes, but let's try the lines like this. Bedard top line to give it a +3 with Hertl and Drouin. Eklund, Couture, and Lindblom on the second line. Zucker, Stahl, Dadonov +1 on the third. Svechnikov, Glass, Grigor on the fourth. Svechnikov, I want to give him increased time. Like, he's getting, I know his ice time isn't ideal, but he's getting power play time. His only goal the whole season came from the power play. Meanwhile, how is Cody Glass with less ice time scoring 9 points and 5 goals? Like, I'd at least expect a bit more from Svechnikov. Defense, the worst plus-minus player was Edler at a -9, so Danny Donkey Kong DeKaiser is back in, Danny Deeks, and David Riddick will get the start with Kakinen backing him up here against the Stanley Cup champion Carolina Hurricanes, who we beat last time in the slow sims. Let's see what happens this time. As we're at PNC Arena, they're 16-12-2, 3-6-1 in their last 10. We are 2-6-2 in our last 10, and we're approaching the halfway point this season. Let's see what we can do in Carolina. First period, 0-0. Second period, up 3-1. Eklund opens it up. Kotkaniemi ties it on the power play. Then Danny DeKaiser! There he is! There's the leader that we've been looking for. First game, first goal of the year. Welcome back to the lineup. Why did he ever leave? And Jonathan Drouin makes it a 2-goal lead. Shots are 2019 in our favor, and we're up by 2 headed into the third period with Drouin giving that extra one. Power play, Connor Bedard makes it 4-1. Loves to score in the slow sim. Power play once again, this time killed off by the Hurricanes. We're up by 3 halfway through the third power play. Carolina, Teravainen scores the second Hurricanes goal of the night, both coming from the extra man. 2 goals on the night past David Riddick. He's standing tall. Can he close it out? Yes, he can. Shots end 36-26, but we win 4-2 the final against good old James Reimer. David Riddick, first game, first star. Drouin, goal and an assist. Lindblom, 2 assists on that second line. And of course, first game, first goal for Danny DK DeKaiser. All right, let's keep on simulating. It's another home back-to-back, so I'm not going to put Riddick as the starter just yet, but I'm tempted to make him at least our short-term starter. At home to take on the Vegas Golden Knights. Let's just keep the slow sim going since we're having so much success in the slow sim, and we can stop at the halfway point. First period against Vegas, 2-1 Sharks. Smith opens it up, and then Couture and Carlson make it 2-1. Second period, 4-1. Lindblom on the power play, and Cody Glass. Third period ends 4-2 as Mark Stone gets one back for the Vegas Golden Knights, and we win another one. Couture goal and an assist. Kakinen, 26 saves, and Lindblom. Was that the game-winning goal from Lindblom? Another win for the Sharks, and I'm liking this new lineup, and the slow sim just keeps having success here as we head to Crypto.com Arena in LA. They're 18-9-4 after finishing, I don't know if they were last, but they were last enough to be first in the draft lottery. They didn't win a huge jump. Like, they were a bottom 3 team last year. Now here they are 18-9-4. A good division rivalry. Bedard loves to play against them. First period, 3-1 Kings. Jordan Stahl scoring our lone goal. Why is Kakinen starting again in a back-to-back? Second period, 4-1, and third period ends 5-2. Why is Kakinen starting is my question. From now to the halfway point, again, more back-to-backs coming up. All right, so what I'm going to do now for the next, 9 games, I'm going to try and give all those starts to David Riddick, even if they're back-to-backs, and we can get a better picture of the goalie situation. So I'll turn auto goalie rotate off, give them to Riddick, go to the calendar sim, and we can see where we are by the halfway point. Back in the calendar now. Let's keep on simulating into the month of January. Let's see what happens heading into the 2024 calendar year. Blackhawks on the road, then the Kings at home. We shut out the Blackhawks 2-0, and then the Kings, we shut them out 3-0. Hold on. Here's the thing. I turned off auto goalie rotate, but then I think it kept Kakinen in by accident because I didn't change it back after the Kakinen game. I'm not sure. Was that Riddick who just got back-to-back shutouts? Or was it Kakinen who got back-to-back shutouts for 120 minutes plus? It was Kakinen who got back-to-back shutouts. You know what? After that, I got to keep him in for a bit longer, but Riddick, definitely want to see more from him. Just after back-to-back shutouts, you got to give the guy another start. So I'll just do it on the main screen here against the Anaheim Ducks at home. They're a losing team, and we beat them 5-2. Pittsburgh Penguins here on New Year's Eve 2023. We lose 2-1 against the Penguins, but Kakinen is still looking good. So I guess we can keep going into the 2024 calendar year. Drouin's leading the team in points. Like to see that. Taking on the St. Louis Blues. But regardless of how we do, I got to give Riddick some starts. 5-3 loss. Yeah, let's give Riddick the last few starts here for games 38, 39, 40, and 41. So the halfway point will be against our division rivals, the Vancouver Canucks, who are a very good team right now. And oh no, Thomas Hertl has a wrist sprain. Yikes, out until February 1st. Ooh, it's only a month by now, but that's still brutal. Yikes. So Jordan Staal's been good. Logan Couture, our captain, is going to go first line center. Jordan Staal's going second line. Cody Glass has been great. He's going third line. We have no more scratch forwards, eh? No. So I have to call somebody up. Someone who wouldn't have to go through waivers. Only Bordelot. But I prefer not to. Actually, Nico Sturm should be the guy we call up. Reedy's been very good. I'm excited for him for his future on this team. 80 overall, former 4th round pick with top 6 potential. Love to see that. But he's doing well in the AHL. Let him keep doing that. Nico Sturm is a guy who's not playing at all in the AHL. I've been keeping him there for this very reason. So Nico Sturm, welcome back to the NHL. I'm just going to edit the lines because Hertl definitely leaves a big hole. All right, lines are fixed. Other players like Jordan Staal are going to get a little bit of increased ice time and so forth to accommodate the loss of Thomas Hertl. Not easy at all. So yeah, 5-3 loss against the Blues, 2-1 win against the Florida Panthers, 7-3 loss against the Flyers. That one hurts. One more game before the halfway point as we take on the Washington Capitals. It will be the team that could have had Connor Bedard. We're facing, even though Timo Meier probably not there, it's unfortunate, 12-23-5. And we beat them 2-1. All right, we're 21-17-2 at the halfway point. About to be the halfway point. Now taking on the Vancouver Canucks for game number 41. They're 26-10-6 in Vancouver to see, can we be on pace for 44 wins or will we be on pace for 42? First period 0-0, second period 2-1 Canucks. Höglander opens it up. Marc-Edouard Vlasic ties it up. Then Lazar extends the lead once again. 2-1 Sharks after 40. Third period now. Can we get some heroics? No, it's Myers. Very unlikely candidate scoring for the Canucks. 3-1 Vancouver. 2-goal lead for them with 10 minutes to go. Let's just call it. 3-1 loss at the shots end 31-25, and at the halfway point we are officially on pace to go 42-36-4. Not a horrible record at all, but that's with the last 20 games out of the last 41 have been the last quarter of the last half has not been ideal at all. Injuries have played a role, yes, but we have not been very good. We're 5-5-0 in our last 10. I'd say we're trending down. But just like last episode, you never know what could happen in the second half. We traded off and we became even better. So hard to know what we really are right now. Vancouver, the number 1 team in the NHL right now. Going to take a little bit of scrolling to find us. And it's so long to get there. All right, we're 17th in the NHL with that record. We're scoring 2.63 goals per game. Probably one of the lower in the league. We're tied for 4th lowest in the league at 2.63. We're allowing 2.95 per game. Not horrible, but not great. Our power play percentage at 17.2, closer to the top than the bottom, I think, but around the middle. And our penalty kill is 87.8, which is, tied for 3rd, and so we're 4th in the NHL at 87.8% on the penalty kill. That's been good. Our away record is what's really bad: 7-9-1 and 5-5-0 in our last 10. Scoring wise, Jonathan Drouin has been a great revelation for us. Very nice to have him doing well. 32 points in 41 games for the young Québécois. Logan Couture, 30 points in 41 games, the captain leading by example. Thomas Hertl, 29 and 38. And by the way, Couture on pace for 60, so that would be nice. And Drouin on pace for 64. Erik Karlsson, 28 in 41, on pace for 16 goals and 40 assists, so a 56-point season would not be anything to sneeze at all. William Eklund, 24 and 41, his sophomore season, on pace to go 48 points. Connor Bedard in his rookie season, currently 22 points in 41 games, on pace to get 44. I'd want to see even more from him, but not a lot of support for the young guy. Jordan Staal, 20, Lindblom, 19, with 15, 11 of ice time. He's doing well. I don't know. What's our identity? Cody Glass, Dadonov, 11 and 41, not doing what I was hoping he would do. Svesh, 11 and 41 as well. Cunnin had 10. Merkley, 10 points and a -8 in 41 games. How's the overall? He's up to a 78 overall. I don't know. He's also an expiring... No, he has 2 years left. Zucker has been a big disappointment. 1 goal in 41 games. Nice. On pace for a 2-goal season. Last year had 4 in 31 with us. 1 goal on the season, and last year he had 26 points in 18 games in the postseason, but right now 1 goal. 1 goal. Vlasic has 3 even. 6 points, -6, and -13 from Zucker. Knizhov, 6 points. Grigor, 5 in 27. Ferraro, 5. Edler, 4 in 29 with a -9. And Danny DK DeKaiser has 2 points and a -1 in 12 games. Sturm, 1 goal. 1 goal and 1 shot in 3 games. Goaltending, Kakinen, 17, 13, and 2 with 3 shutouts, 900 save percentage, 2.84 against. Riddick in the 5 games that he has played, 3, 2, and 0 with a 911 save percentage and 2.81 goals against average. And McIntyre, you already saw, not ideal numbers from him. So at the halfway point, definitely some contracts we could consider moving on from. Like, who are the expiring guys? Jordan Staal, expiring deal. He's had a very good season so far. Wouldn't want much to resign. By the way, we have over $18.5 million to play with. Evgeny Dadonov would be wanting more than he's making now, unless it was a 1-year deal. Oscar Lindblom would want not much of a raise. We could get him for around the same price, if not less. Cunnin would be wanting, reasonable numbers. These are digestible contracts. Cody Glass, if he came back, would want more than he's making. Yeah, he would want 2.6, 3. Yeah, he wanted into the 2s or 3s. Not sure what his role would be. Can we commit to him as a third-line guy moving forward? I don't know. Danny DeKaiser would take a nice league minimum contract. That would be nice. Shemek, expiring deal in the AHL. Would be good to get value out of him if possible. So even if we're not selling, there are some guys that we could sell on. Kakinen, 1-year deal, so he's expiring. He would want 3.9. Riddick, expiring contract. We have a good number of expiring deals right here. Yep. So with all that in mind, we can also check out the trade blocks before we close out the episode, because we do have a good amount of value. Guys like Dadonov, even Merkley, they have trade value. So we, aside from draft picks, which are very often available, what kind of skaters are matching the block? Who do we see that teams want to give away? Expiring deals, Silverberg, Henrique, Carrick, other guys with term like Strome here on Anaheim. The Coyotes, nothing much there. Boston Bruins, Lysell, Corey. Boston Bruins, Lomberg, Flames, Coronado still on the block. 2 years left, 79 overall guy with high top 6 potential. In the AHL, he has scored 22 points in 34 games. He is a sniper, 4-star shooting. All right. Pospisil, Stromgren, Levis, all players on the block in Calgary. Burns, Slavin, Pesci, Killorn, Nudvera, and some other expiring deals in Carolina. Chicago, a few pieces there. Colorado, nobody. Columbus, some prospects, not the highest ones. Some players, including Antonio Stranges, who we've been thinking about, I think, ever since the Philly series. Player with great hands, but he only has 80 puck control and 78 deking, and he's so fast as well. So many prospects that aren't given their due here. Stan Coven also on the block in Dallas. Red Wings, Marco Kasper still on the block. Medium elite, the 8th overall pick in 2022. He has 22 points in 33 games in the AHL. All right, Marco Kasper. Wallander also, William Wallander, big 6'4", two-way D. There's a lot of good D in Detroit. So maybe that's why they want to move him. 15 points on the year so far. I could see a trade with Detroit being something that we explore. And by the way, Detroit, are they a winning team? Would they want to take... Yeah, they're 19, 17, and 6. They're pushing, maybe. Okay. We see in Edmonton, Evan Bouchard never got signed, so maybe we could pick him up to have him next season. Evan Bouchard, offensive defenseman. Would he fit the defense? Not entirely sure. Doesn't really matter, though. Florida, McLean is a prospect. No one else super interesting. LA Kings, yeah, there's Pinelli. Okay, a few prospects in LA. Minnesota, a few prospects here. O'Rourke, Tullio, yep. Montreal Canadiens, nobody. Nashville, Joaquim Kemmel on the block. Oh, wow, 17th overall pick in 2022 with medium league potential. He is a sniper with 5 goals and 13 assists in 34 games. Zachary Leroux, Luke Evangelista, a few prospects in Nashville. Are they a winning team? No, they're a losing team, so not sure why they want to give up medium league prospects. Maybe their status, I don't know. New Jersey, Palat, Alexiak, only Schultz, the only expiring deal. Aho and Ledoux in New York. Rangers, Kravtsov never got signed, so he could be a guy we explore. Matthew Robertson, Skinner, yeah, a few prospects. Ottawa, nobody. Philadelphia, Tony DeAngelo, Ryan Murray, and Nick Jensen. Pittsburgh, Hollander, okay. And Danielson, of course, didn't see him. Kuzmenko, Mott in Seattle. Shen and Neighbors in St. Louis. Tampa, Kajkovic, Toronto, Kokkonen, Knees, Dargachintsev, Leo Carlson, who we're still thinking about. He is a first-round pick from 2023, 18 points in 33 games, the playmaker. Did I say defense? Centerman, excuse me. Dargachintsev, also a guy there. Knees, who is one of our creative players who was drafted in the real world by the Maple Leafs. But he's playing in the NHL and only has 5 points in 23 games. How are they utilizing him? And Kokkonen, Mikko Kokkonen, third-round pick in 2019, 76 overall for him. A little bit of a deep dive on the Maple Leafs prospects. Vancouver, Wu, Plasic, Lakaramaki, Dragicevic, Yermo, a few interesting names here. Very interesting names. Are they a winning team, though? They are, yes. Okay, so it would make sense for the Canucks to want to get some guys. Yeah, they're number 1 in the NHL. I forgot. So that would make sense for them. Vegas, you could cross-reference some of these trade blocks with the standings that we looked at. Vegas, Martinez, McNabb, and Roy. Timo Meyer, of course, still unsigned in Washington. McGroarty, Vidacek, Wagner, Alanov in Winnipeg. Alrighty, so those are the trade blocks, ladies and gentlemen, throughout the NHL. And if we want to think about maybe forget the prospects and let's look at getting picks, if you're curious about the draft class right now, should we tank to get, who's available, stuff like that? Well, let me show you. We got medium elite Raimo Levo. He has 7 goals and 15 assists in an A+ league through 33 games as a 17-year-old. A+ shooting, NHL ready. Nicholas Backstrom, similar style. A centerman. Do we need centerman? I don't know. But he's out there. Jeremy Joseph from Hungary, the Hungarian defensive defenseman, medium elite, 6'4". That would be great. Zdeno Chara, NHL ready as a 17-year-old. We got Dominic Lees from Norway, so Victor Hedman comparable. And there's also another medium elite from Estonia, Alexander Tursambayev, another defensive defenseman who's NHL ready, similar to Vlasic. So it goes sniper centerman, or maybe playmaking centerman, followed by 3 probably defensive, actually, followed by medium elite defensive defenseman, medium elite probably 2-way D, medium elite defensive defenseman, medium elite offensive defenseman, Mats Rodin, who is from Sweden, 17 years of age, similar to Subban. All right. Then we go medium elite Clark Caswell from the Swift Current Broncos, 1 year away, similar to Alex Steen. Haven't seen that. Then we go Berkeley Catton, Kivi Haru, a great real-life prospect, 3 years away, though. And then we move, yeah, so those are the big names. Lots of medium elite potential at the top of the draft. Medium top 4D, this guy, Matthew Virgilio. And the rest just have to be scouted more. Medium top 6 guy from Switzerland, Tanguay. But yeah, lots more scouting to be done. Just to say the top guys are really looking like something. And it's the top 5 all from different European countries. Love to see that. And before you get me in the comments, I didn't look it up. I just made a mistake. I just realized it. It's not Norway, it's Denmark. Dominic Lees from Denmark. Excuse me to all the Danes watching out there. I promise I didn't look it up. I knew it. I just wasn't looking. When I saw Hungary and Estonia, my brain was searching for those flags first. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the trade blocks, the draft class, all that good stuff that you need to think about, our expiring contracts. We're in a tough position again. Do we push to say, we're better than our record has been once we get our players back from injury? Or do we say, let's start selling off a little bit. Let's sell on maybe Edler and Shemek and Dadonov. Do we sell on those guys and just see what happens? That's probably how I'm leaning, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the assistant general managers have to say down here on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description. We'd love to have you there. It's always a party in the Discord server, and we'd love to have you join it. And if you haven't, speaking of joining, if you haven't joined the channel, be sure to subscribe. We'd love to have you joining on the assistant general manager team. It'll be that much stronger and sweeter with you as a part of it. So if you haven't already, please do feel free to subscribe. You'll be made aware of all of our uploads. And also, of course, if you enjoyed this first half of the season, leave a like, as it really does help out the video. I'll stop there. Looking forward to reading your thoughts, and I very much appreciate you taking the time to watch. I'll see you in the next one, where we take on the second half of year number 2 with the San Jose Sharks.